I didn't do that one very good. Hey, my name is Grant Cohn. I'm the guy who runs this channel. Going to be taking calls today for the next 2 hours. First, I want to tell you what's on my mind after that sterling intro. All right. It seems to me that there is a lot of pressure on the 49ers this year. They've been doing the brick by brick thing for 4 years. They've had one winning season. It was very exciting. They went to the Super Bowl. The other 3 seasons have been losing seasons with lots of excuses. And we gave them those excuses. We acknowledge the excuses. So did the organization. I don't think they can use them anymore. And I'm not saying if they had a losing season this year that everyone would get fired, because obviously that's not going to happen. Do you think Kyle Shanahan would get fired if he had a losing season? I don't. I think he's safe. But I don't think everyone's safe necessarily. I think there is more pressure on certain people than others to win this year. Because let's say they have a bunch of injuries again. They can't fire the training staff again. They already did that 2 years ago. So they got to throw someone else under the bus, someone higher ranking. And it's not going to be Adam Peters. They love that guy. They just promoted him. It's not going to be Kyle Shanahan. Who's it going to be? Probably John Lynch. If the Niners have a losing season this year and they fire someone, which I think they very likely could, it'll be John Lynch. Fair or not. And what they could say is, look, John Lynch has a lot of skills. There's a reason we signed him. We hired him. But clearly, we need something different. We need someone who has more of a scouting background, someone who helps more in the personnel department, someone who can fix this injury issue, even if it's more of the head coach than the GM. Someone's going to be held accountable, and it's not going to be Kyle. So I think when we see a difference in narrative from John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, especially with the quarterback position, John Lynch kind of hanging on to Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan trying to ditch him. Well, there's a difference there. John Lynch feels like he needs a winning season this year. Kyle Shanahan has a longer timeline. He has Trey Lance. He's going to be able to see it. He's probably got 3 years. Let's see what Kyle does with Trey Lance in the next 3 years. So Kyle would like to get that started now, most likely. Lynch would like to ensure at least 9 wins this year. So that's the way I look at it. I think there is some pressure on Lynch's seat. You could argue that Lynch is on the hot seat right now, and we don't even know it. That Jed York has said, you guys got to win this year. And if you don't, one of you guys isn't coming back. Figure it out. What do you guys think about that? I think it's possible that John Lynch is under a tremendous amount of pressure. Now, he's not going to show it. He's a very calm, relaxed, happy person. And if it doesn't work out for him on the 49ers, he's still a Hall of Famer. He still could go back to being in the media. He's still extremely rich. His life will be fantastic. But I do think there's some urgency on his side. And so when you hear him talking about who should start at quarterback, keep in mind that there's a lot more pressure on him than Kyle Shanahan this year. And I think that's interesting. All right, so I'm going to be taking calls now. I'm going to drop the link in the chat and in the description. Before I do, remember the rules are no cursing. Try to keep it to 5 minutes tops because a lot of people want to come through. And try your best to keep it to 1 or 2 topics unless your name's Chardoll and just go crazy. Although, at the same time, do whatever makes you feel happy. Just don't curse. All right, I'm going to take I'm going to share the link right now. Hold on. Just a second. Okay, it's in the description now, and it's in the chat now. Okay, let's take some calls. Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Nervous, but I'm good. I hope you can understand with my thick accent.
You're doing great. So, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Torreón, Coahuila, Mexico.
Oh, wow. And how long have you been following the 49ers? How did you become a 49ers fan?
My dad is a long-time faithful, so he and I connect with the 49ers. So
it's always a thing between you and your dad or your mom. That's how it goes, right? Anyway, what's on your mind?
I know that you're not a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan. I know. But I want to know how long you think he's going to be in the team.
I like Jimmy. He's a nice guy. He's always been very nice to me. And I say mean things to him on YouTube, and then I look at him and I almost can't face him. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" So I like that about him. But okay, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? I cut you off.
Our first interaction was about that. I thought that he was a nice guy, and you say, "Yeah, he's been always nice to me," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, but you're mean to him."
Exactly.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's my job."
Yeah, he's the quarterback of the team I cover, and I kind of got to be tough on him. But he's never like taken it personal. He's a much more mature person than I am. I'll just say that. He's a very big person. So thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you. I think that I have a theory. I think that John Lynch and Jed York don't want him gone. I think they want to trade him. I think Kyle Shanahan would love to move on. I think he kind of blames Jimmy for a lot of problems, and he's very expensive, and they have the replacement. And I think Kyle would like to just go in with Trey, whereas John Lynch would like to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. So we'll see what happens. What do you think?
Actually, I think we're on the same page. I think that they give up a lot for Trey Lance, and they need something. And the only person with value is Jimmy Garoppolo. So my idea is that they're going to do anything under their mind and under their power to trade him.
I would think maybe as soon as Trey Lance wins this quarterback competition that they're going to have, they should trade him, right? Why would you hold on to him as a backup? Just take what you can get and move on. I would think so. And let Jimmy Garoppolo be happy somewhere. Let him move on. Isn't he kind of like in prison here almost?
I always thought that Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy never had that chemistry, that they have to work together, but they didn't like each other so much. So this whole 2020 season was like a yes to Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So he could be like, "See, I told you. I told you."
I never wanted him in the first place. That's why
it's like an arranged marriage, and Jed York and John Lynch are the parents, and Kyle's like, but I just don't love him.
But why do you love him? He's so nice to you.
He's a doctor. He's well paid. He's nice. I can't stand him. That's what it is, right?
I mean, that's
the arranged marriage.
Yeah, that's what I think it was from the start.
Yes, absolutely. They usually don't work. Arranged marriage.
Yes, and we realized that we have more in common that I personally thought.
See, we're speaking the same language. Well, I'm glad you came on the show. You did a great job. You gonna come on tomorrow?
Maybe if I wake up tomorrow.
You got something to think about? All right. Well, you're always welcome. Let me know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right. Great job. Great job.
Thanks
Have a great
for
day.
having me. Bye.
Of course. See ya. Not a bad start to the show. How about that? A new star every time. She was fantastic. Everyone give a little round of applause for Aldar. She was terrific. She was a little nervous at first. It's a big show. A lot of people watching. She killed it. That was great. Now, what's up, Amin?
What's up?
Are you frozen? What's up?
Yo, can you hear me?
There you go.
Yo, can you hear me?
There you go, yeah. Although your connection is a little up, he's gone. I'll get him later. Benjamin.
Hey,
what's up?
So I have a question to ask you. So I was seeing some people in the chat and saying, you need a haircut, I need a haircut.
I was supposed to get a haircut on Wednesday and I missed the appointment. So I paid the dude for his time, and I'm still gonna go tomorrow, and I'm gonna apologize. I feel guilty, and I paid him, so it's gonna be
anyways.
Awkward. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, then I'll respond to it. What makes championship teams championship teams?
Ooh. I don't know. You tell me.
And so I was doing a show with Ryan Sakamoto and Peniel Mason.
Nice.
And they all said, like, starts in the trenches. I said, actually, the quarterback, the chemistry between the coach and the quarterback.
I like that.
Because if you think about it, the last 4 years, and I know we made it to the Super Bowl in 2019, but the last 4 or 5 years, Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo haven't been on the same page. And that's why we've been kind of scrambling. And also in the Super Bowl, they weren't on the same page and we fell apart in the fourth quarter, right? So
yeah. I got another one, though. Usually for me, it's usually the team that has the best bargain quarterback. The team that has the great quarterback for the cheapest price usually has a big advantage. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to be strong in the trenches, and it's always good to have a good coach. That's very important. But the team that's paying Patrick Mahomes $7 million that year, that's the best team, in my opinion.
Speaking, like, so do you think the Chiefs, like, do you think they'll start to fall? Do you think their window is closing? Because of the heat they just paid him?
It depends. What they did this year, if they can keep renegotiating his deal and lowering his cap number that year, then they'll be fine. It's what Tom Brady always does. So it's kind of up to Patrick Mahomes how he wants to do it. Guys like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers don't really do that. They want to be the highest paid player in the league, and that cripples their team. So Mahomes, I think those two are way more to blame for their team's inability to win Super Bowls than they want to admit. So we'll see what Patrick Mahomes just renegotiated his deal. He's way cheaper than Frank Clark this year and a bunch of guys on their team. So he may get it.
And my point is, if you look back at the years when teams have won the Super Bowl, the year Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, they had a really good relationship when they won it that year. The Patriots, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick always used to be jamming. Even the Seahawks, like 6 years ago, Russell Wilson had a great risk. So it's good to have a good relationship with your coach because the chemistry.
There's another way to look at it too. If they don't have a good relationship, they're screwed.
Right.
They got to be a united front. They got to be all in together. If not, how are you going to make it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like Bruce Arians was like over there on the sideline. Man, this Tom Brady's not that good, man. I gotta prove people. Like, no, that's your quarterback. Or when Jim Harbaugh was the coach of the 49ers, he wasn't like, man, this Alex Smith guy's a bum. He would tell everyone, Alex Smith is good. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Just because like the franchise quarterback needs an ego, you got to pump it up. You're the coach. Yeah, I'm with you. Kyle needs to. So I hope he does that for Trey. And because this whole like I'm super tough on my quarterback thing I don't think it's that cool. I mean, you're the coach. You're supposed to be helping this kid, and he's supposed to be making him feel great. So I don't know.
Yeah. One last thing. When do you think Mac Jones will start for the Patriots?
Not this year. Well, here's the thing. Cam Newton gets hurt. So how about that? When Cam Newton gets hurt.
Yeah. That could cripple them. What?
Same thing with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Probably. And the one other thing is I would have liked to see the Patriots play the 49ers this year because that would have been so more like last year. That would have been this would have been so exciting if we would have played them.
Maybe
anyways,
Bowl,
I'll see you later. So guys, subscribe to my channel, The Camper Report.
That's right. I do. So you should too. Great to see you, Ben. Take care. Hello again. We meet again.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. What's going on?
At the end, I'll tell you a sad story about my Mustang before I sold it off.
Okay, cool.
Better than the Stinger.
All right, sweet.
You brought up a point about trying to maximize the window we have with Bosa and Trey being inexpensive for the time being.
Next 2 years.
I say go for it. I mean, if they just want to play, then go play in intramurals or at the Y. You're there to try to win championships. And, I mean, no one gets paid in the pros to just play or, want to be a starter. Those are great things, but I want to be a champion at the end of the line. And that's
if you look at why the Niners went to the Super Bowl in 2019, like Jimmy was kind of expensive, but it was the cheapest he was on his deal. He got like $20 million that year. His cap percentage was 8%. It was fine. But there were so many players who were bargains on that team. Think about it. Kittle was making nothing. Fred Warner was making nothing. Nick Bosa was a rookie making cheap for him. I mean, there were a ton of bargains, and that's when you have 3 or 4 players who are among the best in the league on their rookie deals, you're a Super Bowl contender. And the Niners don't necessarily have that as much anymore, although they do have Trey Lance. They got Trey Lance. So that can flip the script. That's the thing. Like all their good players are paid and expensive now. Kittle,
so
except for Bosa and Lance.
Yeah, so I would have no problem if the team decided, John decided to cut or trade Jimmy just because recovering that 25 plus this year and next year, that gets us more depth because
Yes.
our players get hurt more often.
And if you think about it, like the core of the team is Lance, Bosa, Debo, Ayuk. Those 4 players on rookie deals are your bargains. Those are the guys who are going to outperform their contracts and take you to the Super Bowl. I mean, Kittle's great too, but Kittle's being paid what he's worth. There's a price with Kittle. These 4 guys are going to be way undervalued in the next 3 years. So do it now. Don't waste this, and don't make your move when Nick Bosa's making $30 million a year, when Debo's making $15 million a year, things like that.
Yeah. And one last team point is, if I'm Fred Warner, I'm just in the catbird seat. I'm just going to be waiting the whole time because, I got Darius Leonard's going to be negotiating. They're going to give him a big contract in Indy. And if worse comes to worse, I'm expecting the John to franchise tag Fred and then try to negotiate a long-term extension after the franchise tag is put on Fred. So.
Yeah. Franchise tag. Wow. Oh, man. It could come to that. It really could.
I mean, that's what they collectively bargained for and allowed.
Yeah.
And,
it seems to me like Fred Warner is it would be in his interest to wait as long as possible. Like, I don't think he's worried about injuries. He's never gotten injured. He's a young man. He probably feels invincible. So let it play out into the season. Let Darius Leonard sign first so that Fred Warner can be the highest paid guy after him. It's a risky thing to do, but what do the Niners do if he does it? They can just tag him.
Yeah. So
yeah.
To the Mustang, I was in between garages for a day, and then huge thunderstorm just pelted it with big golf ball size hailstones. So
it's like, God, what did I do? Like, why did you do this to me? Why did you send one of the plagues to ruin my Mustang? Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Guys he's kind of salty with these cars, man. He could be like, oh, you got a nice car, huh? While I'm driving this Corolla and I'm God. Well, we'll see about that car. It's like, oh, dang, why don't you upgrade? Rule of the universe.
It was $6,000 to get the dents all out, but I had the highest zero deductible. I had a zero deductible policy, so
that's raw. I wish I had the zero deductible policy. I had the $500 deductible policy.
Yep.
So that's what it cost me yesterday. Oh well.
Yep. One last thing.
Put it on my.
For Steven, Mugs and Roses, we're in the Desert Roses shirt for him.
Nice. Love it, man.
It's So Easy is the best song.
It is the best song. That's by far my favorite song.
Yep.
Because all the other songs are a little played out, but that song isn't. Anyway.
Yep. Right.
Have a good one, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so Chardoll is here. Chardoll is in the building, and when Chardoll is in the building, you don't make him wait. So Chardoll, it is Chardoll time. Hey, Chardoll, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing, Grant? It's
I'm
great
doing great.
to be here on Saturday morning on the Cohn phone. My favorite show.
Great to see you.
I love watching
Hey,
your
man.
show.
Absolutely. People love watching you.
My favorite.
All right.
I got 8 questions for you.
Okay.
I'm going crazy right now because when I come on, I go crazy.
All right. All right.
Nobody stop me because I'm going crazy. I'm like Ronda Rousey.
Oh, man. I would never stop you, man.
Yeah.
Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first question for you is, what are your thoughts of Samson Ebukam replacing Dee Ford on the Niners?
I think I really like Samson Ebukam. He had 9 sacks the last 2 seasons in minimal playing time. I think he could do it. They're different style players, but he's durable and he's a very good athlete. I think he's and he's young. I really like that signing. How about you?
I think that's a pretty great signing.
Yeah, I think
bringing
so
a player like that.
I think so too. Yeah.
Like Ebukam.
Good question. Yeah, good question.
And my second question for you is, what are your thoughts of the 49ers signing free safety Earl Thomas from the Seattle Seahawks?
They haven't signed him, but I wouldn't be against it. I feel like if you could start Earl Thomas and Jimmy Ward next to each other, what's wrong with that?
I think that's good.
Think? Yeah,
I think that's going to be great. He's a great player, great safety.
Good idea.
All around.
Yeah.
All around guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good call. I think it's a good call. Yeah.
And my third question is the 49ers defensive end overrated or underrated?
The defensive what?
Is the 49ers defensive end underrated or overrated? Like
their defensive ends in general, all of them?
Yeah, all of them. Do you think they're overrated or underrated?
Well, I often feel like Nick Bosa is a little overrated because people talk about him like he's already in the Hall of Fame and he's only really had 1 year. So I guess I would say overrated, but they are very, very talented. So I don't know. They're a good defensive line. They're a good D-end group, but I guess I have to say a little overrated.
And my fourth question is, what are the probable chances of the 49ers winning the next Super Bowl?
This one coming up?
Yeah, this one coming up.
Oof.
One coming up.
With Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster, I'm going to say 0.1%. If they get rid of that contract and spend it on some players like Justin Houston, I put them up to 30%.
My fifth question for you is, what are your thoughts of the San Francisco 49ers trading for cornerback Stephon Gilmore?
I'm in favor of it. But again, this is a move the Niners can do only after they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. So Stephon Gilmore, Justin Houston, bring them down. But that's probably going to be once Trey Lance wins the job and Jimmy Garoppolo's gone. But yeah, good call. I like that.
My sixth question is, when do you think Trey Lance is ready to start for the 49ers?
I think he's going to be ready week 1. I've already bet my dad a bottle of wine about it. I think even though he won't be perfect, Jimmy isn't perfect. And what we're going to see from Trey Lance is all the running, all the downfield throwing is going to be is going to open up the whole offense, and you can live with some missed throws here and there. I think Trey Lance is going to be ready. He's a very smart kid. He had the entire spring practice program to learn the offense, so he's in position to compete. Kaepernick didn't have that when he was a rookie. There was no spring practice program in 2011, so I think Trey Lance is ready.
And my seventh question is, what are your thoughts of Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded to the Denver Broncos?
I don't think it would be a good move for Denver, but if they want to bring him in, then God love him. They have the cap space to do it. Maybe they would possibly extend his contract and keep him. That is one of the few teams that could be interested in him. Good call. What do you think? Do you think Denver would want him?
I don't think John Alcorn called in yesterday. He's a big Broncos fan. Talked about Elway. I don't think he's so much into that. I think he's not much into that trade of sending Garoppolo to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. They already have Teddy Bridgewater, who's a lot like Jimmy Garoppolo.
But he's not going to really agree with that move. He's going to be very disappointed with that move if they decide to make it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't see it. I don't see it being the Broncos.
I don't see that ever happening. That he's ever going to go to Denver. That's just a far-fetched move. That's never going to happen. So, I don't agree with that move. So, but it's going to be amazing if it does happen. So it will be pretty amazing if that move does happen. And my eighth question is, what are the 3 ways the 49ers can reduce off-season injuries?
That's a good question. The 3 ways. Okay. They need to stop signing and drafting injury-prone players because a lot of times, like Jalen Hurd, a lot of times it's a guy who got hurt in the past, gets hurt again in practice. So that's 1. 2 would be how about slower, more leisurely practices with more rest and more water breaks? Not as much explosive running, like 3-hour practices instead of 90-minute practices would be good. And like ice baths and things like that, where after practice you get in a tub, they put a bunch of ice in it, put water in it, and you lay in there, and it's really uncomfortable. I used to see Frank Gore do that. I don't see the Niners do that anymore. It's old school. So more of an emphasis on recovery and not much of an emphasis on muscle building and stuff like that. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, and my 9th question is that if the San Francisco 49ers did win the Super Bowl, which player would you like to be the MVP?
Ross Dwelly. Ross Dwelly. How about you?
I think I agree with you.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question now? Can I ask you a quick question? Did I lose you? Where'd you go? Chardoll! Where'd you go? What happened to Chardoll? I was just about to ask him about Twitter. Are you kidding me, man? And the world is never going to know the truth about Chardoll and Twitter. Dang! I was just about to ask him. That is so weak. All right, well, certain mysteries in life are supposed to be mysteries. Chardoll, you did a great job today. I just want to say it's always a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. I thank you for your 9 questions, and I wish I could have asked you one, but if you come back on, I'll ask you. Man, that was just like that. He's gone. Oh, what's up?
I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back.
Hey, I got a question for you. Okay.
Yeah.
On Twitter, what is your profile picture? What's your picture?
It's me. It's me. You showing me number 1, like I'm getting drafted in the NFL draft.
No, it's not. That is it really? Why does that account say that it's a Seahawks forever now?
No, that's not mine. That's
not yours.
Somebody changed it. That's not mine. Somebody messed with and changed it.
Isn't there I don't mean to lead you here, but isn't there a picture of you wearing a San Jose State shirt?
No, that's
that's what?
That's my profile picture.
As your profile, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm talking about.
I have 118 followers.
118 followers. So does anyone else have access to that account other than you?
No, other people do have access to it.
Other people do have.
Yeah, they can follow me.
Man, this is so hard to get the answers to this. I'm trying. Okay, hold on. If you guys are in the chat, you could help me out here. But this is very tough. I'm just trying to make sure because I felt like someone was pretending to be you. And I felt like there was a fake Chardoll going around out there. And I'm just trying to protect you. That's all I'm asking about. Because I don't want someone pretending to be you. That shouldn't happen. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So I know that there is a Chardoll Gupta 3 on Twitter. I thought that was you.
That is me.
That's you, right?
Yeah, that is me. That's my Twitter. That's my that's me. That's not somebody I'm not pretending
that's you.
To be on that account.
And that's a picture with you in the San Jose State shirt and you a couple of months ago you tweeted at Brandon Belt about what his favorite animal is.
Yeah.
See, there was another account named Chardoll 49ers. It seemed like it was from someone else that was pretending to be you.
Yeah, that's
so I said it was a fake.
So that's a fake account. That's not me. The Chardoll Gupta 49ers account. The Niners account. That's not me. So
that's not you.
Anybody thinks that's my account, forget about that.
Thank you. I know it's a little confusing, but the one that's you is Chardoll Gupta 3.
That's
so
me.
If you want to follow the legend, the GOAT himself, it's at Chardoll Gupta 3 on Twitter.
Yeah,
man. All right. I just want to clear that up, man, because you're so famous now. People out here trying to be you. It's not right.
Yeah, I understand that.
You understand? Okay.
I want people to follow me, and people want to be famous like me.
They can't though. They can't. They're trying to steal your clout. So we're here to protect you. We're here to protect you. So thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate it, man. Great show today. Yeah. Great show. You coming back tomorrow?
I always come on and kill the show every single time, right, Grant?
Every single time. That's what you do.
I kill the show every single time. And I go crazy today. I asked 8 questions today. I don't think anybody on the show asked 8 questions.
Never.
You
asked 9. You asked 9.
Yeah, 9.
It was amazing. You had a bonus. Yeah. Are you going to come back tomorrow?
I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
And I'll come back tomorrow. I'll try and go even more crazier next time.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
20 questions. 20 questions.
Oh my goodness. All right. Rapid fire lightning round.
Yeah,
I can't
20
wait.
questions. I'm going to come up with 20 questions, 49ers edition.
All right. I can't wait.
Yeah, 49ers edition. I'm going to kill it even. I'm going to be bigger tomorrow.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Have a nice one and go 49ers, baby.
All right. See you. That was great. That was so good. Hey, Sam. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Grant.
Hold on. We lost you. I can't hear you. You were there. Now you're audio. I had you at first. Maybe take out the. No. Yeah. Just press the little thing that says you're muted. Just press the little button on your screen.
We good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, awesome, Grant. First time calling in. Really excited to be on the show. So I wanted to talk about something we've never talked about before. Who's going to be starting QB this season? I mean,
what else are you going to talk about, man? What else are you going to talk about? Yeah.
So, the conversation you had yesterday, it kind of seemed like when people are talking about Jimmy Garoppolo being the starter, everyone kind of cherry picks this stat. No rookie QB's ever won the Super Bowl. No rookie QB's ever been to the Super Bowl. But my point is you can do the same thing for Jimmy's situation.
Yep, that's right.
You go by the cap proportion. Nobody's ever won a Super Bowl with the cap proportion that Jimmy Garoppolo has. And the closest is Steve Young. So, are you really going to mistake Jimmy Garoppolo for Steve Young? I don't think so.
And also, like that was in 1994 before the rookie wage scale. Now that there is this class of young quarterbacks that are pretty good, really good, making like this cheap amount, you're never going to see someone making a ton of money win a Super. It's going to be even harder than it was in the 90s because there's these people making like they're like indentured servants. It's not right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah.
In the year Steve Young did win, it was right after the cap was implemented, right?
Exactly. So like the league hadn't really adjusted. Now, like there's all these ways to get ahead, anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And, the other thing we've been talking about a lot this season, are the 49ers a Super Bowl team? Do the fans think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year? It doesn't really matter what we think. What matters is, does Kyle Shanahan think that this is a Super Bowl team, that they're going to win the Super Bowl this year? And he absolutely does. He's going to try and go out there and win every single game. So then the question is, who's the guy who's going to give you the best chance? And I think Kyle Shanahan's really going to approach it that way. And
the most talented player.
Exactly.
How about that?
And once Trey Lance is out there doing everything that Jimmy Garoppolo can't, I think it's going to be pretty obvious. And I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on this team week 1.
I'm with it. I think so too. I think the thing is, fans haven't seen it yet. The players and coaches have seen it. And what are they saying? Everyone's talking about him. Like when OTA started, they were all talking about Jimmy. Now they're all talking about Trey. When fans see him on the field for the first time, it's going to be hard to go back.
Just like when Kaepernick went in for Smith. It was just you saw what he had to offer.
I want to watch this every weekend. This is so much more fun than that. Sorry, I'm in. So fans don't quite understand yet, but yeah, that's going to happen.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for the time, Grant. I had a lot of fun.
Great call. Where are you calling from?
Wait, one more thing. Oh, I'm calling from Spokane, Washington. I grew up in Pleasanton, California originally, but I'm up here now. But red and gold, Tom, dead and cold, baby.
Thanks, man.
One question. My fiance wants to know why you're called Iggy.
Oh, yeah. I should explain that every once in a while. I have an older half brother who's 12 years older than me. So when I was 1, he was 13. And I guess before I acquired language, I made that sound all the freaking time. And my brother started calling me that. And my parents were like, oh, we'll make that his nickname so that these half brothers will bond. But of course, once your parents make something official, it's not cool anymore. So that's my nickname. He never calls me Iggy, but we're very close in spite of that. That's the stupid story.
Awesome. Very cool.
But everyone that I grew up with calls me Iggy. And it's like when people call me Grant, they're like, who is Grant? So, yeah.
He's the best sportscaster in the Bay.
Yeah. Hey, last night I was at dinner with my wife in Alameda, and we're just outdoors in like a little alley, and someone walks by and goes, Grant! I'm like, what? And it's some guy like, I'm a subscriber. It's like, oh, thanks. Don't shoot me. Anyway, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. That's a true story, man. Really did. I got shouted out last night. I want to get Amin on because he was on earlier, and then I'm going to get back to the order of line. Sorry, Steve Jobs, you're next. Hey, Amin, how you doing?
I'm at my cousin's house right now, and I was like,
see, you can't be relying on other people's internets like that, man. It's hard.
So I like came in like this one spot in the corner of the room to try to get good.
All good, man.
And before I start, I'm not even trying to brag, but Chardoll Group 3 followed me today on Twitter. I'm not even trying to brag.
See, the whole Chardoll situation was hard because he wants to say yes. So if you ask him a yes or no question, he wants to say yes. And So anyway, I mean, we got to the bottom of that. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
So I have a question for you. It's a little bit of a tricky question, but let's see if you can answer it.
Sure.
If you could go back in the Shanahan and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan era, and you could change 3 things that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch did, while as John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were head coach and GM, what would you change? 3 things you could change. Oh my
goodness. My goodness. Well, you'd have to start with them taking Patrick Mahomes instead of Solomon Thomas. Got to, right? And then the next pick, maybe Ryan Ramczyk instead of Reuben Foster. That's a good one. Did they take Akella Witherspoon instead of Alvin Kamara? They might have done that. I don't know. That's 3 off the top. What do you think?
1, I would definitely change to Mahomes, but the thing is, none of us knew about Mahomes, right? So even moving on, besides that Solomon Thomas pick, even if we took Deshaun Watson, I would still be fine with, because none of us knew in 2017 or in 2016, none of us knew about all those allegations about what happened now and all those assault charges. None of us knew that all the way back in 2017. And the quarterback is one of the most important positions on the field. So either way, if we could take Deshaun Watson or Mahomes, I'll be happy. The other thing that would change is DeForest Buckner. Like, you traded DeForest Buckner and you gave all that money to Eric Armstead, who's not even producing, for that big contract. And you could have kept DeForest Buckner for that extra $4 million. You should have done it because DeForest Buckner is a top 3 in his position. Eric
That's
Armstead
a great call.
isn't even a top 10 in his position.
How did I forget Buckner? Yeah.
You could argue that DeForest Buckner is behind Aaron Donald. And you could switch. Chiefs fans will say Chris Jones is second. But Niners fans will all say that DeForest Buckner is second, and you could put Chris Jones third. But that DeForest Buckner is definitely one that I would definitely change.
Good call. That's definitely one of their 3 biggest sins.
Yeah, that is. And then,
but yo, I just looked it up. 2017, they took a Ahkello Witherspoon literally 1 pick before Alvin Kamara. The next pick was Alvin Kamara.
That's okay. Then the other one I would choose, like you said, Ahkello Witherspoon over Alvin Kamara. Like, Alvin Kamara, he's not as good as a rushing back. As a running back, but he's a really good pass catcher. Like, imagine what he could do with Trey Lance and Alvin Kamara. Oh my God, that would be a scary tandem. That would be absolutely scary.
Yes,
that's one that would definitely take balance. Ahkello Witherspoon is not even on the team anymore, right? And if he was doing something for us, if he at least did something for us to help us out when he was playing, but half the time he was injured. And let's remember last year in 2019 when we went to the playoffs in 2019. He was getting smoked by Stephon Diggs. Like, he was absolutely getting killed. And I'm like, well, like, just sub Ahkello Witherspoon out of the game because he's not doing anything for us. Like, I remember that catch. He was right there. Stephon Diggs snagged the ball out of him when he started running that touchdown. Oh, that was
just sit him down. You know, the first 5 picks from the Niners 2017 draft are all off the team. Foster.
Yep.
Thomas, Witherspoon, Beathard, Joe Williams. 5. And then after that, you had Trent Taylor. Whew. At least they got George Kittle and DJ Jones.
Yep, and I have one more question.
Go ahead.
The last question I have for you is, would you rather have the Niners, if you could go back, and would you rather have the Niners trade for Carson Wentz, or would you rather have them trade for Trey Lance?
Man, that's a tough one because you don't have to. Trey Lance is cheap against the cap, but giving up 3 first-round picks for him is harsh. And so like, which one would you rather? I think I'd rather have Trey. I think he's a better player. He doesn't have the injury issue. He's like 8 years younger, and he's cheaper against the cap. I think they did the right thing. What about you?
Now, I would take Trey also because he is cheaper with the cap. But the other reason why I would take Trey Lance is because with Carson Wentz, like, if you look at Carson Wentz in his MVP season, he absolutely balled out in his MVP season. He absolutely balled out in his MVP season.
That was year 2 of his.
That was year 2,
his
but
career.
he didn't win MVP, but he absolutely balled out that season.
He did.
And the thing about Carson Wentz is, if you look back and you watch the highlights of that season, he would run out of the pocket, do all those crazy things, and if he was stayed healthy all those games, he would have an MVP. But then after that, after his injury, same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. I feel like after Jimmy Garoppolo's injury, he lost all his confidence. And he would sit in the pocket and try to rush throws and do all of that instead of scrambling and doing what he did in 2016. So why would you trade for? Why would you trade for a guy that basically he's more athletically gifted, Jimmy Garoppolo, but both Jimmy Garoppolo and him lost all their confidence after their injuries because they have zero confidence in their skills. True. And like Carson, like Jimmy Garoppolo, that one play he tried to run and he got injured. Does Jimmy Garoppolo run anymore? No, he absolutely doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He just sits in the pocket and he takes a sack and goes like this. And he's like a statue. Carson Wentz doesn't even run anymore. He tries to make risky throws and tries to force it in there instead of running and using his legs, which he almost won MVP with, but he got injured, right? So both those guys played with fear. Even moving beyond the cap and how much we had to give up for Trey Lance, that Carson Wentz plays with fear. He doesn't have his confidence that he did back in 2016. And it shows on the field. Like last year, he led the league in interceptions. He could have ran with the ball and taken it off, but instead he tried to force a throw or he made bad plays and bad decisions, and he led the league in turnovers last year. So you don't want to.
No, I think Trey Lance. You don't want none of that. You got to he's mentally broken, Carson Wentz. So is Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's hard to put quarterbacks like that back together. You know, Alex Smith was mentally broken before Jim Harbaugh became the head coach, and I think one of the best things Harbaugh did was like pump life back into Alex Smith. You're good. Don't listen to the critics. I think you're good. My name is Jim Harbaugh, and I say you're good. And remember, before every game, he would like hit him on the pads and like you're tough, you're a warrior, believe in yourself, all that stuff. It was very it was very impressive what Jim Harbaugh did, and Kyle could do that. I mean, he needs to do that for someone needs to do that for Jimmy Garoppolo at some point in his life because he needs it. Carson Wentz needs it. He may get it, right? He's now with that coach who believes in himself.
Frank Reich, who is his Frank. If Carson Wentz works out in Indianapolis, it's good. But the thing about trading him with the Niners is that both those guys have no confidence. Carson Wentz, if he plays well in Indianapolis, he'll gain back his confidence. But in Philly, he had no confidence. His last year in Philly, and after his injury, he was not the same because he used to run a lot. If you watch that 2016, like his first game, he killed Washington, and all those games, he was going to get sacked. He ran out of the pocket and tried to run, and he was really good at doing that. But last year, he led the league in interceptions because he didn't run out of the pocket when he could, and that's why I feel like I was happy with the Trey Lance pick over Carson Wentz because if you trade for a guy like Carson Wentz, both Jimmy Garoppolo and Carson Wentz have no confidence, and also that cap hit. Carson Wentz has such an expensive contract.
Yeah. I mean, I got to hold you to the 5-minute rule, but it's always great to see you.
Yep.
Glad you got to call in from your cousin's house, man. Have a good day.
Tomorrow I'll be back home, so hopefully I'm pretty sure I'll have better Wi-Fi, so I'll see you tomorrow.
It all worked out, man. Good to see you. Have a good one.
See ya.
Peace. All right, I'm going to answer a couple of questions real quick, and I'll get back to the calls. Marcus says, might have missed this, but how do you feel about Kittle's tight end U? I think it's dope. I just hope he's staying healthy. It's a very charitable idea. The idea is that, like, tight ends are second-class citizens in the NFL, and they don't get paid as much as offensive linemen or wide receivers, yet they do both of those jobs. And if they can come together, pump each other up, share their knowledge and skills, and bring awareness to tight ends, I think it's really, really cute and commendable. Very cute, though. What I would appreciate more is if George Kittle would prioritize his time and get back to me on DM. So, yeah, good job. But what's really important here, George? Tight ends or me? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Last one. Human Race Win says, I would go back and run the clock out in the Super Bowl. How did we not say that? Yeah, I guess that's the right answer. Thank you. Okay.
How's it going,
Mr.
Grant?
Capologist? How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
So, hey, I wanted to talk about, I did a little analysis this week where I took and I used the Brock Osweiler trade as kind of the base, right? They basically paid $16 million for a second round pick.
There you go.
And then I mapped it using the draft value chart, right? 3,000 points for the first pick, 2,600 for the second. And I assigned a cap value to every single pick in the draft.
This is brilliant. Love this. Okay.
Yeah, no, and so I just wanted to see if we did something with Jimmy's contract, what would that mean in cap value, right? Yes. Not cap value, but draft capital.
Yes.
And so after I adjusted it for this year's cap, it came out to pick 21 in the first round.
Wow.
And so I thought just by cutting Jimmy, that's the amount of draft capital we essentially, when you set this relationship up.
So it's like, I'm terrible at math, but what you're saying is if you get rid of Jimmy and you had an extra 23.6 million or whatever it is that you would free up and you tried to buy a draft pick.
Exactly.
You could get the 21st pick in the draft.
You could get the 21st pick in the draft.
Wow. If it was for sale.
If you could go and buy draft picks with cap dollars.
Wow.
And so when folks are starting to talk about, if we cut Jimmy, we get nothing, right? That's what made that question made me think about, well, you're not getting nothing, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at it in the sense of draft capital, it's the 21st pick.
Yes.
And so, and you can kind of use this to go through a couple different scenarios, right? Let's say you waited halfway through the season to cut Jimmy, or not cut him, trade him, right? Mm-hmm. You could go and look at the dollar amount that you got in draft capital back. Mm-hmm. And you could also see by only paying him like half his salary, what you get back there.
So it's like you do what the Rams did. You send him off, but you say, we'll pay for part of this.
Right.
We'll pay for part of Jimmy, and we want a better draft pick in return.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you get some cap relief and a pick to please all parts of the organization. That's very clever.
Right. I just thought this would be kind of an interesting data point for that question when folks are like, you got to get something for Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
And you can also look at, well, let's say we decide to take the risk, right? Well, if Jimmy plays well this year, we could get a first round pick, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm telling you is you got to pay that first round pick to even see, right?
Yeah.
So unless you think you're going to get better than the 21st overall pick, you can't do it.
No.
And so I thought that was the other question I wanted to answer. If we paid Jimmy this year and we ended up with a first round pick, what pick would we have to get to not lose anything? You'd have to get the 20th or higher pick. And I'm thinking a team that's going to trade for him would be like a playoff contender, right? Like they're in a tough spot and they're like, we need a veteran quarterback that can come in here. We've got a good team around. I'm maybe the Broncos or something, right? There's not a whole lot of teams that fit that bill, right? But they would likely go to the playoffs. And would you actually get a pick that would be better than the 21st overall pick?
No, most likely not. So create the cap space. It's more valuable than you realize.
It's more valuable than any pick. I think
second round pick. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so either you trade him before the season starts, right, and get some, like, even if you trade him for a 6th round pick, like nothing, right? You're still getting that capital back.
Yes.
And so I think the optimal thing is either to trade him for the 6th round pick, whatever he's worth, anything he's worth.
Yeah.
And get rid of the contract before the season starts.
I think that let's give the Niners the benefit of the doubt that they're doing this right, that they know they don't have to pay Jimmy $1 until week 1. They want Trey Lance to win the job so that there's no split in the locker room, because some people may feel Jimmy should be the quarterback even if they're wrong. And then handle this September 1 or September 2, something like that.
Right. And that's why when I did this chart up, I was thinking the 49ers are thinking something like this.
Yes.
It's only one data point, that Brock Osweiler trade, right? Like, so
it's a good one. And another one is the Jared Goff trade. The Niners and Rams are doing very similar things. That's how the Rams got rid of Jared Goff. They paid to get a better draft pick in return. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I said, I just thought it was a cool data point.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you for doing all that work. I never could have figured that out.
It took me 15 minutes, Grant. It was actually pretty easy.
Well, that's why they call you Steve Jobs. You're the 49ers head capologist.
Head capologist, right.
Great call, man. Great stuff.
All right. Thanks, man. You have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Hold on. I want to get someone in real quick who's never called in before. Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, what's poppin', Grant? How you
doing? Good. Where you calling from?
I'm from San Francisco. I'm from the city, so.
Oh, nice. Cool. Cool.
Nice.
So
basically, I just love listening to, like, you and your dad talk all the time about, like, the 49ers lore and whatnot. And, like, as a fellow Jew from the city, it's pretty cool to, like, see you doing your thing. So anyway, personally, I want to talk more about, like, kind of that stuff. So, like, I hate Levi's. Like, I feel like it's an airport. Like, it's right next to Great America. Like, there's all this crap. So my question is, like, what do you miss most about Candlestick?
Man, what do I miss most about Candlestick? That's a great question. I liked the history of it. I liked walking around in the locker room or just looking at the field, knowing that the catch had happened there. Joe Montana had played here. Steve Young had played. I feel like the old Yankee Stadium used to have that. You'd watch a game and like, man, Babe Ruth played on this field. It's like, it's amazing. And then you just throw it away to move to some sterile place with no history. It's like, yeah, it's
Call yourself San Francisco, but you're not even from the city.
I guess it's a nicer structure. It's newer, but when games would get tight in the fourth quarter at Candlestick, there would be this aura like, is this the next historic moment in Candlestick history? It was very cool. And also, I mean, like, I liked how it was so old. Like, there weren't all these fancy places underground for people to hang out and feel like millionaires in a lounge. Like, it was just people being rowdy out in their seats. I mean, it was very like low tech, lo-fi, old school, pretty cool. What about you?
Thank you. Well, I was able to go there a couple times as a kid before they moved. And so it's just nice being able to take the bus, be in the city. It feels like it's part of the whole San Francisco culture. Yes. But now it just feels like you have to drive down an hour and be like, go to this kind of foreign place, and just feels like a lost part of its identity, I guess.
Also, it wasn't glamorous. I'm from Oakland, and I went to a lot of A's games growing up because it was so easy and cheap. And there's something similar between the Coliseum complex in East Oakland and the Candlestick Park spot in Hunters Point. It's like, it's not the most glamorous part of the town, but it's accessible to everyone. It's kind of like an egalitarian place that everyone can afford. And it's uncomfortable for the other team to come in there. Like, you got to come into a hostile environment. Yeah. How do you like it? And your locker room ain't going to be that nice. I thought it was really cool. And now it's all very nice, and everyone's treated like a billionaire at Levi's Stadium. And there's, I don't know.
Yeah. That's still one of the big points.
So how old are you?
I'm 18.
So. 18. So you kind of missed Candlestick.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Now
it's gone.
Yeah.
They just demolished it. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's why I still kind of hate Jed York. So
Shay, I got a prediction for you. Within 20 years, they'll be back in San Francisco. No one likes that place.
Warriors back, so.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you notice, they build new stadiums like every 20 years. I think like in Atlanta, they built Turner Field in like 95 and then built a new one in 2015. I think they did the same thing with the Georgia Dome. I mean, if there's money, they can go right back up to San Francisco. They probably will.
One can only wish.
They can't go to Candlestick, though.
Yeah.
They'll probably have to put it somewhere bougie.
But then they can't do anything with Levi's, and like, I guess we'll see. Wishful thinking.
Levi's. I don't know. Hey, good call, man. Have a good day in the city.
I just want to say thank you for like all the content you make over quarantine. That really helped me out. Just kept me entertained. You know, you keep grinding, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah. Whoop. All right. Let me get back to the line. Niner Kid, how you doing? Thanks for waiting.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good, man. Always a pleasure to see you.
So I have two questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, first, it's kind of, you just said you were an A's fan. I'm also an A's fan.
I'm not an A's fan.
You're not?
No, but I grew up going to games all the time, man. When I was a kid, Wednesday games were $1 if you had a BART pass. $1, and so were the hot dogs. So I was Wednesdays, man.
I'm actually going to an A's game on July 3rd, and our tickets are $42.
They're so expensive these days. When I was a kid, it were $1 Wednesdays. I don't know if anyone else remembers that, but I was about that. You don't have to be an A's fan to have a good time there. And everyone would go, like all the kids would just go up and sit as far away from the game as possible. We would just take over like 302 and, you know, have a little party. Kind of feel like there's a game in the background, but no one really watched it. Anyway, what's up?
Oh, okay. So my first question is, which rookie will have the biggest workload this year? 49ers.
It better be Trey Lance. No, it's gonna be Aaron Banks probably. I think he's gonna start at right guard and play the whole season if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think that Banks will just play the most because, you know, we might play Jimmy, so Trey might not play. I don't see any of the other rookies really playing as much as any of them, and we kind of have a hole at that right guard spot. So I feel like, it should be Aaron Banks who plays.
Could be Trey Sermon, depending on injuries, but early on, he'll be in a rotation.
Yeah.
Good question. I think it'll be Banks.
Banks.
But how about Trey Lance? How about the first round pick, the third pick in the draft?
Yeah,
people talk about him like he's just terrible, man. Like, I don't know if he can play right. He's a third pick in the draft. He's so physically talented. I don't know, man. Maybe we could just give him a shot. Let's see what he does. What's he gonna do? Like, trip over his shoelaces? How bad is it gonna be, man? I don't get it. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
People are like giving Trey knocks because, like, oh, the talent he didn't play the best talent. You know, he missed his throw. But then also you can go for Trey's side. He didn't have the best talent.
That's a great point. It's gonna seem a lot easier for him throwing a Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo as opposed to Larry, Moe, and Curly. You don't know that reference, but anyway.
Okay, and then my second question. I don't think the 49ers will win the Super Bowl this year, but what should the 49ers do, and what has to happen for us to win the Super Bowl this year?
I'm real clear with this. They need to get rid of Jimmy before the season starts and spend that money on other players because they're not going anywhere spending 13% of their cap on that. They're not. But if Trey Lance is good enough and they can spend $23.6 million on 3-4 other players like Justin Houston or whoever, all of a sudden, this team is just as good as Tampa Bay, or I mean, a lot depends on the rookie quarterback, but I just don't think they're going to ask him very much. I think it's going to be a lot of running the ball, him running, and then some play action shots. They just need to spend that money that's going to the mediocrity at quarterback. Spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think we should spend all of that money if we do trade Jimmy, because we need to save it for some, expiring contracts like
True.
But
do all.
Yeah.
Handle business.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Good to see you.
See you too. Bye.
All right. Take care. Wow. All right. Jaden, man.
What's up, man?
The man with the most colorful room. I always appreciate it. It's a nice little, you got the aura, the ambiance going with you, man. What's going on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I got 2 points I want to bring up on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. So I want to start off. Jason Verrett is recruiting Melvin Ingram. You've seen that. I'm interested in Geno Atkins. Where's Geno Atkins at?
Geno Atkins is a free agent, is he not?
Yes, he is.
Okay, let me just give a quick look at his stats. Geno Atkins used to be just flat out elite. Now he's 32, and he played 8 games last year and had 0 starts and had 0 sacks. It seems like he might, but he's played 16 games in a row for 6 seasons before that. Hold on. I don't really know what happened with him. I wasn't following him much last year. He hardly played last year. He didn't really play last year. I don't know what's going on. You'd have to do some investigation. Why didn't he play last year? He was playing the year before. I mean, all before then. I don't know. It's a good question. Only thing I would say real quick, Jaden, is that I think the Niners need more help on the edges than interior. Like, I really like Kevin Givens, Contavious Street, DJ Jones, even Javon Kinlaw. But Atkins was great back in the day. It's definitely worth investigating. Wish I had a better answer.
Okay. And then, so I was watching or listening to some more Trey Lance film, and I don't know what game it was, but he loves to throw past 40 yards. Like, there was like 3 deep balls that were beyond 40, and I was like, and all of them were in the end zone or like 5 yards past the end zone. So I really like that. And how do you think that will make this offense more explosive?
I think all of his skill sets can really help the run game. I know you think about a quarterback helping the pass game, and he will, but the fact that he can run, the fact that he can throw deep will make the defense have to defend much more of the field. Like with Jimmy, you don't have to worry about him scrambling or throwing deep or throwing near the sideline. There's just really, you got to defend the middle of the field. With Trey Lance, you got to defend everything. And so and they're going to run a ton with Trey Lance. Like, he won't pass that much. He'll hand off most of the game. He passed like 19 times a game in college. It might be like that as a rookie. So it'll be a lot of handing off, a lot of him running, and then the defense will be creeping up, loading the box. And then he has the ability, much more than Jimmy Garoppolo, to just throw it over the top the way that Russell Wilson still does. So that's what I would expect from him, to really be able to burn you over the top of those play action shots once the defense overcommits to stopping the run, because this run game is going to be like the Ravens. It's going to be crazy. They could run for 3,000 yards. He could run for 800 yards. Mostert could run for 1,000 yards. You know what I mean? It could be vicious. Good question.
I think we might trade Raheem Mostert before the deadline.
Ooh. Could happen.
Yeah, because I think there'll be a lot of design runs for Trey Lance. Trey Sermon, I love him. Good pick by the Niners. And then we got the rest of our running back core, which is, in my eyes, pretty solid. And Kyle Shanahan's a genius when it comes to running back. So,
only problem with trading Mostert is he's a free agent after this year. So if you trade him at the deadline, the team that gets him is only going to get about 8, 9, 10 games, something like that. So you may not get a real good pick in return because it's a rental. But if Trey Sermon has passed him on the depth chart, if Elijah Mitchell has passed him on the depth chart, then why wouldn't you trade him? Yeah, it could happen. Yeah.
I don't think he should get more than 10 carries a game, maybe even less.
Okay. I'm more into Raheem Mostert than you. I think when you
I'm not
pair up
very much into Raheem Mostert. I love him, actually. It's just his injuries is too much.
Yeah. Well, again, he's his last year on the team. It's his last year under contract. You know, just I'd throw him out there, see what happens. You know, it's on him at that point. Yeah. But Jaden, I got to take some more calls, man. Great call. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Good talking to
you. All right. Good talking to you always. All right. Take care. Marcus says, if you could send Trey to get mentored by any quarterback, past or present, for a week, who would it be? Oh, man. Oh, man. How about Steve Young? How about Joe Montana? Those two would be pretty good. How about Steve Young? I would go with Steve Young. I think there was one more. Yeah, hold on. Here's Jay. What's up, Grant? It's my birthday, but I had to check in. Happy birthday, Jay. Winning the division is a must this year. If we don't, Kyle will be a footnote in NFL history. Ooh. They got to win this year, man. There's a lot of pressure on them. They definitely got to win. John Lynch could be held accountable. Hard to say. All right. Hello.
What's up, Grant? It's first time calling in, man. Long time watcher, long time listener, man. Been on.
Man, you got a whole setup, very professional. What? So where do you live? How long you been a Niner fan?
So my name is Bashar. I've been a 49er fan since you could say 1987. It's kind of when I really started watching them and following them.
All right.
I live over in Roseville, California. I'm a Bay Area guy all the way.
Nice.
I got this set up because I actually have a YouTube channel. It's called 49er Minded. I have a preview video on there right now, but didn't really start anything just yet. I'm trying to get the kinks in with the software that I'm trying to use. But once I do,
this is a good way to promote it right here. Good call.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to talk to you because I've been dying to get on the show, and it's always on so early. And sometimes I sleep in on the weekends or I'm out doing something.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that conversation with you and your dad when you guys were mad that the media that the 49ers were hiding the Jeff Wilson injury from the media. That really got a kick out of me. How your dad was all mad and he had these funny, witty remarks about it.
He got worked up. He was worked up in that episode.
Yeah,
I love
that
it.
was. I was messaging that video to my boys. I was like, "Dude, you got to watch this. You got to watch this."
My dad still's got the fastball. He still has it. He still got it.
He's not everybody's flavor, by the way. Your dad's not everybody's flavor, but he knows his stuff, man.
Because Californians cannot take that New York directness.
Mm-hmm.
It makes him very uncomfortable. He'll just come out and say exactly what he. So that's why he stands out here. If he had that same style in New York, there'd be a million of him. Not that he's not, but I'm just saying his style out here is. It works.
I was gonna say, shout out to Chardoll. I was trying to hit that dude up on Twitter. He doesn't read his messages, man. That guy, his real Twitter account, I think, the one that has his picture.
I don't think he uses it.
I always feel bad for the next person that comes on after Chardoll because it's like, okay, how are they gonna follow up the greatness that we
I know. That's why I'm pretty judicious. I was like, okay, I know Amin can handle it, but I won't just throw a rookie in after Chardoll. That's not fair to the rookie.
I mean, man, that's a kid to watch in the future if he ever sticks to this and develops what he's doing, man. I was like, dang, when I was his age, I loved the game, but I didn't know what he knew. You know?
Exactly. When I was his age, I wasn't like trying to set myself up for the future. I was playing Madden and like biking around, hanging with my friends. So I hope he just doesn't get burned out. You know, you got to be a kid too.
Oh, yeah.
He's very determined. I really admire it.
So I'm sorry. I'm always about the small talk and jumping around to different topics. So my 49er topic is just a little unconventional. It's more dealing with what the players in the 80s and 90s did. Okay. And I'm a bit older than you, but I know that you watched a lot when you were a kid or so. But this question came to mind because I was actually it was from Beast Rider, Ryan Sakamoto, and he had interviewed Randy Cross, and I was just like, hey, that's awesome that you interviewed this legend. He ran it to me that, can you believe this guy's not in the Hall of Fame? And I didn't even think about that. And we were both having this discussion how these guys who played on all these Super Bowl teams, these 49er offensive linemen, who out of them went to the Hall of Fame? And none of them did. So,
right.
I mean, you got guys
all
like
the finesse parts of the offense have been rewarded, but not the offensive lineman, not the running back, Roger Craig.
Yeah. I mean, I think with Roger Craig, I feel bad because that fumble was like this black eye on his resume, and it was this big stigma for him. And besides that, he did so much,
Yeah, he was the first guy, the first 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard rusher in the same season. Was the best weapon on a Super Bowl winning team the year they would beat the Dolphins. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, Randy Cross too. He should be in. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Randy Cross should be in. I mean, I remember Steve Wallace. Was pretty damn good at one point. Jesse Sapolu, Harris Barton, those names all come to mind.
Absolutely,
When you look at their resumes in terms of how many Pro Bowls they went, I think it's because they only went to like each guy went to 2 or 3. None of them ever went to the Pro Bowl like 10 straight times or something like that. But I don't know. It's the writers that make the decisions who goes to the Hall of Fame. So maybe you know better than me. Maybe you could throw in a.
Also, I feel like the West Coast players, like only the real famous ones make it in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Seems like it.
It's a little bit East Coast centric. The media stuff. Yeah.
Well, I know you have other people that you're waiting to speak to, and it's great to finally be on here. I was talking to guys like Waruna, how I'm trying to get on one day, and I'll go out of my way to get on, but I'm finally here. So thank you for having me.
Sorry we do it so early in the morning. I just try to finish up so I can have a Saturday with my wife.
Oh yeah, have fun with your wife and your family and do what you got to do, man. Take care, man.
All right, man. Great to meet you.
All right, man. Great to meet you too.
Okay. Mugs and Roses, what's up?
What's up, Grant?
What's going on?
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Oh man, it's been an eventful Friday, I'll tell you that. But outside of that, though, so let's see. Is it a must-win season for the 49ers? Obviously, yeah. It's for many reasons. For one, because we did so much. We traded away so much draft picks just to get Trey Lance, and only him to get to number 3. That if we fail flat on our face, like we did last season or the season before 2019, Kyle Shanahan. I have a feeling Kyle Shanahan would get the axe first before John Lynch, just because John Lynch. Yeah, I have a feeling John would stay longer than Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
You know that's just something because, and I'll say it this way because Kyle Shanahan, as we all know, has that a really bad history of being what was the nickname 31 and 36, the little nickname you gave him.
31 and 36,
so it's like, so it's just, and he has a horrible history of blowing leads when he has them. Like that's just that's his, I guess, curse mark or whatever. You know, whenever he gets up, he can never stay up. He always, somehow falls back down and falls hard.
You know what he has going for him though?
What?
Jed loves him.
True, but I feel like so does John. So it's like they're kind of at an equal playing field just because, well, for one, John is the superior and also Jed's favorite, and so is Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is just the favorite, and he's looked at as like this offensive guru. To be honest, hopefully, I really hope we do good this year. He's got, Kyle Shanahan got the QB he wanted. And for him to start drawing up plays on the plane back from, North Dakota State, that says a lot right there. Not only that, but him saying that, the media saying that, with Trey Lance on the team, it unlocks an entire other portion of the offense. That kind of spells the writing on the wall for Jimmy G.
Yep.
Jimmy G, I've been with the guy. I've been on the ship for a cool minute,
Yeah.
But as of right now, with everything that's coming to light, just him like not being able to keep up and seeing that we have Trey Sermon on our team now and knowing that Trey Sermon and Trey Lance can actually do something with each other, that's great. Brandon Ayuk, another sophomore wide receiver that would do really great under Trey if you really think about it. And we can also run a lot of like quarterback sneak plays or any kind of running plays with Trey and have Kyle. We could utilize Kyle Juszczyk and Ross Twilly or even George Kittle even more. So it's just something that I see that Trey Lance being the legitimate future of the 49ers over Jimmy. Now, do I see Jimmy getting traded week 1? Kinda. Now that I'm kind of understanding like what's going on now. And like what we could get, I could see that happening for sure. Right. For sure. Yeah. Everyone else restructured their contract, like QB wise, they all restructured their stuff, and he's the only one that really hasn't. So that kind of says it right there, where his mindset's at with the team. Like, I come first, and also he doesn't really kick it with anybody outside of the offseason.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, and George even said it too. He was like, he's horrible at text messages. He takes forever to reply. And if I ask him something, he'll reply to me like a month later. It's like, yeah, thanks. I already got it done. So
it's a good call. Yeah, I mean, I think why is there no movement progress with Fred Warner? Maybe they're waiting to Maybe they're waiting for the Jimmy thing to happen first.
Yeah, because honestly, if we start Trey first over Jimmy and Jimmy's gone, long out of our hair. I mean, our backup is Josh Rosen, so it's like we may have a good rookie QB, but we also have a really good QB that was at one point the sought after QB that was just played on really bad teams. So I mean, now he's got weapons.
Agreed.
But outside of that, that's kind of all I got to bring to the table right now because everyone said everything I wanted to talk about. So.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. Mugs and roses, everyone. See ya.
See ya.
Peace. All right. Guru, what's up?
Hey, Grant, what's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Are you back in the States? Or are you still in India?
I'm back in the States. I'm back in San Jose.
Nice.
Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just came on to answer your question. Is this a must-win? Is this a must-win season for the 49ers? Yes, it is, but I think it is more important that they get Trey Lance on the field and they trade Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, the thing was going on. I feel like Kyle, it's not must win for Kyle. It's must develop Trey. For Lynch, it's must win, and that's why he's like, well, let's Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's not be. Nah, man, get Trey on the field. If Lynch goes down, Lynch goes down. I'm sorry.
I think we just need to look at the previous two occurrences of rookie quarterbacks being benched for, incumbent starters, right? Let's like Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith, right? That was one that worked well. But if you ask the Chiefs if they could have done anything differently, I think they would have said, let's start Patrick Mahomes right away. Right. Yeah. And we go to Baltimore with Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco. That was a complete disaster. Lamar Jackson had to save that season. Yes. Otherwise, that would have been a complete disaster for Baltimore. If we went and asked them, they would have been like, absolutely, let's start.
He arguably saved John Harbaugh's job. John Harbaugh was on the hot seat going down.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. And Lamar Jackson was playing games at wide receiver. It was an embarrassment. He was playing snaps at wide receiver. It was an embarrassment. And he came and literally saved their season. So yeah. I think if Trey Lance sits this season, that will be 2 consecutive seasons of him sitting on the bench. That's not good for any quarterback.
Good point.
And quarterbacks are like it is better for them to play now than it was in previous years. Like rookie quarterbacks, if you can make the argument like rookie quarterbacks in the past, they still sit on the bench, they benefit from that. I don't think so. Like in this day and age in the NFL, very much tailored towards offense and offensive success. And the way the 49ers have built their offense with their offensive line running the football, it is very much tailored towards Trey Lance. I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo doing much better than Trey Lance in this offense, the way it is tailored today. Right. And given that, with Trey Lance, you might have a shot at the wild card and you need that year of development. The only reason Trey Lance would develop is because, he's on the field. He's on the field playing, preparing for games. And then next year you set him up for, an MVP season. You have that money freed up in the cap. I saw that caller who was the 49ers capologist, right? He made a really, really good point. The money you free up in the cap allows you to keep the talent around Trey Lance, both on defense and on offense as well, for him to be as successful as he can possibly be. That is worth more than anything else. And I think that even if you have to cut Jimmy or trade him for, what is like a paltry return, that is something you really should consider because Trey Lance is the quarterback of the future. You've already decided that. You just got to roll him out there as soon as possible and put him in the fire. And
the only thing holding him back from being out there right now is the fact that this team has had 3 losing seasons in the last 4 years under this regime. And I think there is pressure on certain people more than others to win. And when you put in a 21-year-old rookie, it's a little scary. I think Kyle wants to do it. I think you're hearing the coaching staff saying he's ready. So I hope they do it because that's definitely what they should not waste a year of his development. You put it well. Sitting for 2 years isn't great for any quarterback. You know who sat for a long time? Jimmy Garoppolo. How'd that do? How'd that work for him?
Not really, not great. Not great for the Patriots either. They didn't get the return in the trade that they wanted from Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean that.
Great call, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, no problem.
Good stuff. Always welcome. Take care.
Take care.
All right. I gotta get Carrie. I appreciate you for pulling over. Oh wait. There you go. I saw you driving. I had to wait till you pulled over, but I appreciate it, man. How you doing? Oh, you're muted. Just press the little microphone button on your screen. There you go.
There you
What's
go.
Up, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. Where you calling from?
Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
How about that? All right. How'd you become a Niner fan?
Long story. So my entire family I was originally from Allentown, Pennsylvania. They are all Eagles fans.
Okay.
And I grew up living in their house, and the first game my dad took me to was an Eagles-Niners game, and I watched Steve Young, Jerry Rice come in and destroy the Eagles, and I said, "That's your team?" I said, "Well, that's my team."
Nice. I like that. All right, man. So what's on? What's in your mind?
So we have to cut Jimmy. We need that cap.
Yep.
Throw that cap, roll it over to next year.
Sure.
And there are many free agents that could make this team better than Jimmy is making it.
Yes. Do you got some names?
Allen Robinson.
Yep.
Free agent.
Yep.
Von Miller.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. Even if they don't spend the space this year, they can roll it over to next year and make a big time move. Remember, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in year 2 with Russell Wilson doing similar stuff. The Niners could do the same thing. They could be the Super Bowl winner next year if they play this right.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Lance is ready. I think that he's, like you've said, I've watched the show for a while. The mobile quarterbacks have a better opportunity in their starting season because they make plays happen.
That's right. And so we'll see if he can develop into a 15-year starter who is effective even when he loses some speed. But right now, he should be quite effective. The question is longevity. Will he get hurt running around? That's not really an issue right now.
No.
Just let him go. Yeah.
And I also think that our line is a lot better for his type of play. He can move around the pocket. McGlinchey, whether we like how he played last year or not, he can move people. And he now put on that extra 20 pounds. He has his blind side covered by Williams.
Mm-hmm. He's got a bunch of running backs. He's got the best. I mean, theoretically, the Niners could lead the league in rushing this year. He's got a terrific defense that's bringing back Nick Bosa. He's in an ideal situation for any quarterback. He can honestly play like he played at North Dakota State, which is hand off all day, run all day, and throw 19 passes. Like he could be, the Niners could be the lowest in the league in passing attempts next season and be top 5 in points scored. I mean, they could be that kind of an offense.
Absolutely. And I do. I think I just saw a thing about Chubb and them up in Cleveland saying that they could each run for 1,000 yards. And I don't see why we couldn't have Mostert and Sermon running for 1,000 yards.
The way I see it is in Cleveland, those two are the best. That's the best tandem, Chubb and Hunt. But they don't have a dual threat quarterback. They got Baker Mayfield. So it's just harder for them. You look at Baltimore, they have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, who aren't as good as Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, but they're always going to have better numbers because of Lamar Jackson. Always. And the Niners can have the same effect with Trey Lance.
Yep, absolutely. I mean,
you saw it 10 years ago when they went from Alex Smith to Colin Kaepernick. All of a sudden, Frank Gore went from 4 yards a carry to 5. That was Kaepernick. Yeah.
Yep. All on that quarterback.
That's right. That's right.
How does Trey hand off? I know that we talk about Jimmy being the handoff specialist.
He looks like he's a pretty good handoffer. I mean, a lot of attention to detail. Looks it in there. He's got a lot of experience. People talk about he didn't throw that much in college. He did hand off a lot, so I think he's prepared.
Hey, and that's, looking over at Lamar Jackson, that he really is a number 1 handoff specialist. He hides that ball amazingly.
He's good. Tim Ryan even made a comment about that and got suspended for a week. So it's true. People have noticed that. Sorry, Tim. I like Tim. Tim's a good guy. And that's what Richard Sherman said. He's like, hey, Tim's right, by the way. Richard Sherman said that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's the way of disguising it, and then you never know if he's taken off with it or not.
It's true. It's an underrated skill. Let's give Jimmy Garoppolo some credit. Good stuff, Kerry. Have a good one, man. Later.
Thanks.
Steven, real quick, says, for everyone in the chat, I do sleep with my guitar. Thank you for the compliment on the guitar. All love, Trey in the Bay. Yes, but does your guitar gently weep? Steven, that's my question. Dylan, what's up?
Hey, Grant, how are you doing?
Man, how old are you?
I'm 16.
16, and your voice is 8 octaves deeper than mine. That's all right. I like it, though. What's up?
I wanted to talk about the quarterback situation. I also want to talk about Kyle Juszczyk. So I'll go ahead and start with Kyle Juszczyk.
Okay. Oh, he froze. I'm going to give him a second. 1, 2. All right, Dylan. I'm going to come back to you, though, Dylan. I'm going to come back to you. I know you'll be back. Hey, what's up, Mac? How you doing?
Fine, I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
I wanted to talk to you about Kittle.
Okay.
I think you're wrong about Kittle. I think he is a leader. I remember you used to talk about who's a leader, who's not a leader,
Sure.
and you don't see him as much as a leader.
Yeah.
But we can see what he's been doing now with the tight end university.
True.
He's clearly a leader right there. He may not be like the stoic leader, but what a leader does is lead people. That's what you do.
He led everyone to Vegas.
Maybe
no,
it's
you're
not
right.
the
I think you're right. Yeah.
He clearly has like weight in the locker room. People look up to him, so he's a leader in example. Maybe it's not what you want or what someone would say, that's the best type of leader, but he's still there leading, head of the team.
They follow him.
Is he a captain?
Yes. They follow him. So, okay, fair enough. George, I take it back. You are a leader, but you're a punk until you come on my show. You're a punk. No, he's busy. He was at tight end university. What do I expect, huh?
I wanted to say I watched the rest of the Twitch. The chair, it's worth it.
Oh, I'm definitely getting that chair. You have no idea.
And this actually isn't a green screen.
Oh, it's not? It's just
I can show you this. This is just software.
Yeah, I know
I can turn it off and I'm back home.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. I should do that.
It's pretty cool.
Egypt or something.
But I think you need to upgrade your setup a bit.
I think so. Yeah, I do, yeah. One more thing, and my computer is gonna probably self-destruct.
And the last thing I wanted to talk about is Bosa. It's so hard for me to analyze Bosa because when you're not watching him play, you're like, nah, we don't know how good he is. But when you're watching him play, he really impacts every play he's in.
Yeah, he's very strong, and he plays very hard. His effort is relentless. He creates a lot of pressure. He doesn't always get the sack, but he creates havoc. He's very good.
I watched the New Orleans game the other day just for fun because it's such a good game. The 2019 New Orleans game that was 48-40.
So well in that game. Yeah.
He was like the only one in the defense who was like consistently playing well.
That's true. That defense got shredded that day, and he made big plays for them. He did.
He didn't get a sack, but but you could see that Drew Brees was like trying to get the ball out as quickly as he could because Nick Bosa was coming in.
Terrifying, yeah. Coming to end that career, yeah, that's a good call, man. I just feel like only question with Nick Bosa is his
injuries,
durability. Yeah. I have no questions with his level of play. He's very good, excellent player. But yeah, I think he's so reckless. Not reckless, but he just plays so hard. He often ends the play on the ground.
Yeah,
often he'll dive. He'll dive at ankles, and
he gets held. He gets he gets double teamed
constantly. Yeah, I feel like his body's in very vulnerable positions a lot. So that's the only thing. But I mean, it's really not an issue while he's now until he gets paid again.
That's kind of the whole thing of the 49ers. I think that's one of the dangers about the injuries for the 49ers. They play so hard and they have the whole thing about the 49ers is they're going back to a kind of football which was a lot harder and big hits, playing hard, running, where the rest of the league is going into a more passing, less touching, more
basketball
finesse
on grass. And so the Niners are trying to go against the grain, but their guys get hurt. All gas, no breaks. They need some breaks.
When you go against the grain, you're going to get success because people are not ready for you, but you're risking this.
There's a reason why no one else does what you're doing. There's a reason. And if it was the best way to do it, everyone would do it.
And I think it's clear why the 49ers have really good season and then, no, they're bad. And then a really good season because when the stars align, it's going to be really good.
That's what has to happen. The stars have to align. They've had 4 winning seasons since 2003, but each time they've had a winning season, they went to the NFC Championship game. The 3 years with Harbaugh, the first 3, and the one with Shanahan. All NFC Championship. So when they're good, they're real good. But when they're usually not good. That's the thing. That's the thing. Good call, man. I got to take one more. I got to get back to Dylan over here, the 16-year-old with the deepest voice of all time. It's good to see you, man.
Okay, see you.
See you in the Discord. Yep. This guy's James Earl Jones over here. I bet he has no idea who James Earl Jones is either. That's okay. Hey, man, you're back.
Okay. All right. I hope the Wi-Fi is good this time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real good. What's up?
Okay. So real quick about Juszczyk, I think he could have a breakout season this year because 1, Jeff Wilson Jr. got hurt. 2, I think if Trey Lance is playing in that play action, we'll see a lot more of Kittle as well. And also the running backs aren't very durable. But has Juszczyk had problems with injuries? I don't think so, right? Juszczyk's been pretty solid.
He missed like 4 games like 2019, but I don't think he. Because remember, there was those couple of games where Ross Dwelly was the starting fullback, but so he missed 4 in 2019, but that's really it. That's it. He mostly plays.
Yeah, I would say Juszczyk is a pretty durable guy. So last season when I was watching the games, I noticed that when they gave Juszczyk the ball, I at least I thought he was very, very good when he had the ball in his hands. I just think he didn't have it enough. He needs more touches, especially with the new contract. I mean, they gave that to him for a reason, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him like 2 touches a game. He should be getting 4, 5.
Every time he got the ball, he would get 5 to 10 yards each time he touched the ball.
That's right. And I've talked about with Jack Hammer on my channel, but Trey Lance's style is he likes checking down. He's got a game manager's mentality, which is intriguing for someone that athletic, because he's not going to be that conservative. He'll air it out and he'll have big plays too, but he's not going to just give the ball to the other team relentlessly like young James does. He's going to check it down and Juszczyk should be more involved. Yep. All right, Dylan, did I lose you again? Well, I think I lost Dylan again. He lasted long enough to lay it down. He's got a great A's hat. I love the A's hat. Look, I'm going to end the show there. I got to say, David, I see you over there. Please, next time, I got to say a no bed rule. If you're in your bed, you got to be like at a table or something. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate you, though. I do. I know it's very late in South Korea. Just sit in your kitchen next time, man. I'm sorry. It's just that you never know. If I let you call in from the bed, I could get some lunatic calling in from his bed next time, and I don't know. So I'm just trying to. I love you, man. I love you. Next time though, from the counter. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm sorry I had to say no. He's in his bed though. I'm saying I think everyone would appreciate it. Dylan, the show is over, but you did a good job. No, Dylan's done. All right, man. I'll see you guys. See you tomorrow.